Eagle Nation, I know this doesn't concern us, but Tom Brady looks to be retiring. Or is he? We got to talk about the GOAT, 22 years of greatness. We just can't ignore it. And I also want to talk about the NFC East landscape when it comes to coaching.
This is Philly Talk with Philly Mike. Talking sixes in the bird gang, that's our life. Competition, we ain't scared, yeah, that's what we like. Win or lose, you know we showing up and we gon' fight. You see we strive for the sky every day that go by. And every single week we screaming fly, Eagles fly. This is Philly Talk with Philly Mike, yeah. This is Philly Talk with Philly Mike, yeah.
What is going on, everybody? I go by Philly Mike, and this is the Philly Talk Podcast. And today we got some things to talk about, some stuff that doesn't concern the Eagles or the East, but I got to get it off my chest. But before we get into it, Eagle Nation or Brady fans, help your boy out and hit that like button. Subscribe if you are new, and ding that notification bell so you know when these videos drop. Let's jump right into Tom Brady. So it was breaking news by Adam Schefter and somebody else, I forgot, that Tom Brady will hang up the cleats. Now, there has been rumors that he's not retiring, right? Some from this guy, some from that guy, but there's an actual statement that was made to the Buccaneers from Tom Brady's camp, his agent, that he hasn't made a decision yet. That's all speculation. Don't believe it. Now, could that be Tom Brady trying to change a narrative so he can control it and he can announce it because it's Tom bleeping Brady? Maybe. I wouldn't put it past Tom Brady to leak that out there, have guys like Pat Mahomes, just the NFL say, dang, he's retiring. And then he comes out like, hold up, wait a minute. Y'all thought we were finished? I heard you troll the Eagles with that song after beating us in the playoffs. But Tom Brady's great. 7 wins in the biggest game. Super Bowls are the biggest game. He got 7 of them, 10 appearances. Almost every record when it comes to touchdown, yards, passing, everything goes to Brady. And this is a guy who was a 6th-round pick. This is the reason why you believe if you draft somebody in the 5th, 6th, or 7th, they still have a shot to be great. Not Tom Brady great, but great. He inspired a lot of people, and he does have a lot of haters. And I was one of them when we didn't beat him. But yes, the last team to beat Tom Brady, if he goes ahead and retires, is the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm talking about Super Bowls. And yes, I got to show you guys this. I tweeted it a little bit ago, and my goodness, you got to see the quote tweets from Cowboy fans. They are definitely in their feelings. The Eagles beat Tom Brady multiple times and in the biggest game, Super Bowl 52. Meanwhile, the Cowboys never, I repeat, ever beat Tom Brady. They are 0-6. So 22 years of playing football with the Bucks, with the Patriots, the Dallas Cowboys are 0-6 versus him. There's some other teams. I think the Falcons are 0-10, and other teams haven't beat him as well. But the Cowboys never beat him. So if he does retire, that's something the Cowboys never can say they did. Beat the greatest player of all time, which is Tom Brady. Now, I want to get to the NFC East. Yesterday, we saw that the New York Giants, the only team to fire their coach, end up getting their new coach. And I got to admit, Brian Daboll is a good coach in my eyes. This is a guy that if you go back and look, before the Eagles hired Nick Sirianni, I said I would love Brian Daboll as our coach. So I'm not going to be a fake guy and come up here and say, well. I'm going to give them credit. This is a good hire, right? I don't know who I know who their GM, Joe, starts with an S, but I don't know much about him, right? He came from helping out Miami, blah, 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 blah. I don't know about him. So Brian Daboll has a lot of work to do because Daniel Jones is Daniel Jones. People automatically think he's going to turn Daniel Jones into Josh Allen. I think that is a little bit hard to believe because Daniel Jones has had opportunities to change the narrative on him, and it just didn't work. But the Giants being a franchise that has, 4 or 5 coaches in the last 6 years, I hope that they don't got a great one. But I do believe it was a good decision. I don't want to – it is what it is, right? I don't like the Giants. I don't like the Washington football team. I don't like the Cowboys. Looking at the Washington football team, they're going to go ahead and run it back with Riverboat Ron. They're the Commanders, right? I don't really know where he stands. He's that hard, fit, tough coach, But at the end of the day, he has a lot of losing seasons. A lot. And if you ask me, he underperformed with this Washington team that has everything but a quarterback, but the defense didn't live up to par. It got better throughout the season. But what's going on, Ron? And now we head over to the Dallas Cowboys, where, Cowboy Nation was talking about getting rid of Mike McCarthy. There's been some truthers. Shout out to CFT. He's been a truther on McCarthy. But Dan Quinn was supposed to leave, and I think that was big. I said in the offseason of last year that Dan Quinn won't change that defense, and he physically did. So I was leaning towards if Dan Quinn goes, so does that defense. Diggs, Parsons, they're great talent, but you need a guy to put the chess players in the right spot. And I think Dan Quinn did a great job. He's back. So McCarthy, Moore, and Dan Quinn are back. I think McCarthy definitely does limit them, right? His clock management. I don't know. I still think the Cowboys are by far the toughest team and the biggest competition to the Eagles. Washington is still the Commanders. The Giants, although Brian Daboll is a guy that I liked, I don't know if it's a dysfunctional group of guys over there, to say the least. And Daniel Jones is leading the way. And will Daboll call plays? Who's going to be part of his staff? Who's his defensive coordinator? Things got to be sorted out. Last but not least, the Philadelphia Eagles, who are going to go back into this with Nick Sirianni, Shane Steichen, it looks like. What the passing coordinator, Kevin Patullo, I think it is. I'm not even sure. I don't know if he's going to be back or not. And Brian Johnson is interviewing for OC with the Packers, so that's interesting. But I think year 2 of Nick Sirianni, he kind of found what an identity means to a football team, not being so wishy-washy and let's do this, let's do this. You got to be creative and keep it different. But when you got an identity, you got to find ways, creative ways to show your identity and do what you do best. I think year 2 with Devontae, Quez, Jalen, not Raggers, Hurts, everybody is going to be different. And so I really do like our chances going into next year, right? We got money. Say we get a stud wide receiver, some defensive help, all in free agency before we go get 3 first-round picks. And for everybody around the division saying that Howie Roseman can't draft, okay, run with that narrative. But 2020's draft was great. 19, not so much. And it's mainly because of Jalen Reagor, the wide receiver, which if we go out and get a free agent wide receiver, we don't need to draft wide receiver. So that is what Howie can't hit on, right? But if you look at 2018, let's go back and look at that. Dallas Goedert getting paid. We're paying him, and he's productive. Avonte Maddox, great in the slot. Josh Sweat, beautiful piece to this defense. And let's not forget Jordan Mailata, a left tackle that will be the Eagles' franchise left tackle. So right now, I feel great about the Eagles coaching staff. I'm a little skeptical on Dallas's, not Kellen Moore. Well, Kellen Moore too, because he showed why he didn't deserve to get a head coaching job down the stretch. But Mike McCarthy's my biggest. I like Dan Quinn, Mike McCarthy, and Kellen Moore. What are they going to do? Washington, I think they're just stagnant. And the Giants, I got to see, because on paper, I can't say anything bad. Going from an OC to a head coach is different. We got to see how Daboll transitions. But I'm not going to poo-poo it like I didn't want him for the Eagles prior to Nick Sirianni coming. But since Nick Sirianni showed me what type of guy he can be and how he can, get things from players that I didn't think will show it right away, like Quez, Devontae, not saying he wouldn't show, but he broke the rookie franchise receiving yards while we were a rushing team. So I love what Nick Sirianni did. And real quick on the Eagles coaching staff, I don't know about Jonathan Gannon. Maybe he go, maybe he stay. We'll see. But right now, going into the season, I had to go McCarthy. I had the Dallas Cowboys first. I had the Giants, Dallas Cowboys first. I had Washington second. I had the Eagles, even with the unknown, because I never believed in Joe Judge. And then it was the Giants. Going into this year, I got the Eagles number 1. That's hard. Eagles number 1. Dan Quinn is still on the Cowboys staff. I'll go Cowboys 2 for coaching. And then even though the Giants are unknown with Daboll, for as much praise as Riverboat Ron gets, he has a lot of losing seasons and he stays stagnant. So right now, this is early because we're going to learn more as it gets closer to OTAs after the draft because coaching staffs have, some saying who the teams draft and stuff like that, except for the Cowboys because it's Jerry Jones all day, every day. But I'm going to go Eagles number one coaching staff going into 2022, Cowboys second, the Giants third, and Washington fourth. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. I go by Philly Mike, and this is the Philly Talk Podcast. Until next time, we are out. Until next time, we are out.